On the left side of the screen, we've got two pictures of two very famous people. The top picture is we have LeBron James, who has consistently been one of the best basketball players on the planet for the last 10 or 15 years. On the bottom of the screen, we have math teacher extraordinaire, Mr. Schmidt. And I'm putting these pictures up so that we can talk about greatest common factor. And when we break down the words, there are three of them. We have greatest, common, and factor. Well, the greatest, that means largest. Factor, we covered that in the last section. Those are whole numbers that divide evenly into the target number. The word that we have to really talk about is common. And I like to put in the word shared for common. So this is the largest shared factor. And when we talk about things that we have in common, we want to think about some traits that Mr. Schmidt and LeBron James have in common, or traits that they share. So I made a short little list here of just possible traits that LeBron and I have in common. The first one is obvious. We're both going bald at very young ages. Now, LeBron had surgery, actually, to put in hair plugs so that his receding hairline wasn't as obvious. But I decided to go bald with grace. So that, I guess, is something we don't have in common, but we are naturally both going bald. Something else that we have in common is we're incredibly athletic. When you look at LeBron James, you're like, it makes sense that he's such a good basketball player. When you look at Mr. Schmidt, it makes sense that he's such a good athlete. Something else we have in common is we're both very, very well respected. When you think about LeBron James, people only have really nice things to say about him. And I'm sure when you talk about Mr. Schmidt outside of class, you only have really nice things to say about me as well. The last thing we share in common is we're both super rich. LeBron James is obviously the best basketball player on the planet. He's got one of the largest contracts of any NBA player. Obviously, me, middle school math teacher and middle school volleyball and basketball coach. Obviously, things that are paid super well. So those are the things that LeBron and I have in common. Now, I'm hoping that you're getting that it was a joke, just to think about what the word common means. But when we talk about greatest common factor, the first thing we have to remember is what are factors. And when we think about pairs of factors, it's two numbers that divide evenly into the target number. So a factor pair of 24 could be 1 times 24. 1 and 24 are both factors of the number. Another option would be 2 times 12, also factors of 24. And then we have 3 times 8 is a pair of factors. And then we also have 4 times 6. And those are all the factors of 24. Now, when we go to the bottom and we think about the number 36, we have to find the pairs of factors of 36. We have 1 times 36. We have 2 times 18, 3 times 12, 4 times 9, and then 6 times 6. And those are all the pairs of factors of 36. Now, when we think about what we started this lesson with, was asking us, what is the largest shared factor, or the greatest common factor? What we need to take our information and hopefully not mess it up, and we're going to bring it over to a new question. So what is the greatest common factor of 24 and 36? So if we break the word down, once again, we need the greatest, so largest, common, which is shared, factor. So of this list, what is the largest factor that these numbers have in common? So first of all, we have to identify the factors that they share. 1, they both share. 2, they both share. 3, they both share. 4, they both share. I see 6. And I see 12. Whoops, I didn't circle that one very well. So the question is, what is the largest shared factor of 24 and 36? And our answer should be the number 12. And that is greatest common factor. Let's do another example from scratch. What is the greatest common factor of 30 and 40? So let's write our two numbers down here. Here's 30 and here is 40. So once again, just like we did before, let's find all of the factors. So 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, and 5 times 6. These are all the factors of the number 30. And for 40, we have 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 4 times 10, and 5 times 8. These are all the factors of 40. So then we're looking for, once again, the largest shared factor between 30 and 40. So let's circle all the factors they have in common. They both have 1, obviously. 2 is on both lists. Not 3, not 4. They do both have 5. And they also have 10. So the greatest common factor of 30 and 40 is the number 10. Let's do one more together. Sometimes you will see greatest common factor written like this. And what this means is the greatest common factor of 12 and 18 equals question mark. And we're trying to figure out what the greatest common factor of 12 and 18 is. So if I write the number 12 here and the number 18 here, once again, for the third time, let's find all of the factor pairs. 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. Those are all the factors of 12. 18, let's do 1 times 18, 2 times 9, and 3 times 6. Those are all the factors of 18. So then we have to find out what is the largest shared factor. So we have to find all the factors they have in common. So I see 1 is a factor of both. I see 2 is a factor of both. I see 3. No 4, but 6 is. Therefore, the greatest common factor will be 6. I'm going to write that just like they had. The greatest common factor of 12 and 18 equals 6. And that's greatest common factor. As always, if you have any questions, please let me know. Also, let me know what score you got on this video.